Hello, folks. Wager Detective here. We're going to go through a live cap right now of the Boston Red Sox versus the Detroit Tigers coming up at 6:40 p.m. It's 4:20 here in Atlantic City. Wager Detective reporting live. Going to go through a little live cap here. Let's take a look and see what the Red Sox have done. This is going to be a surface level cap. Sometimes I do deep dives. Sometimes I'm going to start doing these a little bit more. Surface level caps and see what we come up here. Now, if we look at what the Red Sox have done, 1-0, 2-0, 2-2, 3-2, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4 in their last 10. Okay, they are 3-2, 4-2, 5-2 in their last 7 on the road. Now, you got a couple day games in there. You see the 1-8 and then the 5-3, so they're split there. But this is going to be a night game. They won the game yesterday. Boston won the game yesterday. Let's take a look at the box score here, if we shall, okay, for that Cinco de Mayo game. Now, if you remember the game yesterday, there was a benches cleared because Framber Valdez threw at Trevor Story. There was, whispers of sign stealing by the Red Sox. A couple videos I watched, but the other consensus is that Valdez was mad because he gave up a couple home runs. But if we look at who did what yesterday, Rafael Cedon had a great game, 3 hits. As you can see here, had a home run, 2 off Framber Valdez, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, monster game. But everybody else chipped in. Monsterio, Dale Durbin, Connor Wong, Falefa, Contreras, Abreu, everybody chipped in. And if we look at pitching here, right? If we look at pitching, he didn't have a great game, right? Valdez didn't have a great game. Gave up 7 earned runs, right? 10 runs, 7 earned runs. There was an error in there, only 3 strikeouts. But the bullpen came in, got the job done in the 6 innings that they did come in. So the bullpen is a little bit used up from last night, right? And if we look at the Boston Red Sox pitching, pitched pretty good. Moran didn't do good, but Bello came in, shut the door, had 7 strikeouts. Did a fabulous job, and then Gamboa closed out the game. So if we look at that, we take it to there. We look at the last, if we look at this game right here, we preview this. Boston last 10 games, like I said, 3-2, 4-2, 4-4, 6-4 last 10. And if we look at the runs, what their plus-minus differential is 27, 28, 31, 34, 35, 40, 50, so 5 runs a game to 7, 10, 16, 17, 25, 28, 31, 32. So about 1.8 runs more per game over their last 10 against their opponents. And if we look at the Tigers' last 10, they lost the last 2 to Boston. They're looking at getting swept here, okay? They are 4-6 in their last 10. And then as far as scoring runs, 10, 15, 20, 9, 36, 43. So they're scoring about 4.3 last 10. And then their opponents are scoring 15, 16, 17, 24, 29, 34, 37, 46. So just off those numbers, we could be probably looking at a game that, even though we got Flaherty and Sonny Gray on the mound, we could be looking at a high-scoring game. But we look at the last 10 head-to-head. We look at 1-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4. So 6-4 last 10 for the Red Sox head-to-head against Detroit. And if we look at the numbers there, as far as runs scored, 15, 23, 29, 15, 23, 15, 23, 33, 34, 38, 40, 50 runs per game, 5 runs per game over their last 10 versus the Tigers, and 5 runs per game over their last 10 during this season. And then they've given up, Red Sox have given up, excuse me on that, because I'm looking at that a little skewed there. 15, 23, 25, 26, 27, 31, 32, 36, 41. 41 runs per game for the Boston Red Sox last 10 versus Detroit. And then Detroit 7, 13, 23, 26, 28, 31, 37. So again, Boston's got the run advantage there. I think there's going to be a little bit of revenge in that game because Valdez threw the ball at Story, even if it's sign stealing, even if you're mad because a team hit 2 home runs off you, it's wrong. Valdez used to be a guy held at a high standard. I'm starting to lose a lot of credibility for this guy and what he's done and why Houston got rid of him. I mean, wasn't it last year that he threw the ball to the pitcher when the pitcher wasn't even ready for the ball, or he was looking for an all-speed pitch and he threw him a fastball to the catcher when he was with the Astros? Guy's got some character issues that are something to keep an eye on. I know that's going to be on their mind this year. Boston 4-2 this year against the Detroit Tigers. And if we go into what Sonny Gray is doing this year, right? He's having a pretty decent year. I mean, we're going back from 924, 328 for this year. Let's take a look here what he's done. Okay, he lost against his former team here. The Red Sox did when he played against his former team, the Reds. Lost 5-6. Then beat the Padres, beat Milwaukee, lost to Minnesota, and then his last outing, April 20th, they beat the Tigers 8-6. I actually won money on that game, so something to keep an eye on out there. He's coming off a nice little rest. I'm sure he was either injured or maybe wasn't playing. I don't know why he was out for that game for that long in between starts, but he's 3-1 in his last 4 starts, 3-2 if you include the Cincinnati game, and then this was last year. He lost when he was with the They lost when he was with the Cardinals against the Giants. I've always liked Sonny Gray, pretty good pitcher. Let's take a look at the Detroit Tigers. Detroit last 10, again 4-6, not really playing that great. Jack Flaherty, what's he done this year? If we look at him, loss, win, and an over there against St. Louis, his former team. Loss against the Twins, who have been playing pretty good, low scoring there. Then played against the Royals, won that game 2-1, right? Royals don't really have bats. And then he beat Detroit earlier this year. Again, this was the game that Wager Detective won. I got the picture. Go through my feed on Twitter. You'll see that somewhere posted over there. That was a day game. That was the marathon day game. You can see there, 11-10 start. And then he lost that game, then lost against the Reds, 2-9, right? Sonny Gray's former team. And then last game out, he lost to the Rangers 5-4. So Sonny Gray has lost his last 3 outings, and then he beat the Royals. So I'm not going to say he no decision, but he's lost. The Tigers have lost their last 3. You beat the Royals, which really don't have bats, and then you lost against the Twins, right? And then you lost against, you beat your former team, St. Louis, when you started. And then in the opener of this year, you lost to the Padres. So if you look at what he's doing, let's take a look at the earned runs this year. He's got 19 earned runs in his last 7 starts in 29 innings pitched. And the Red Sox are hitting the ball. And the Red Sox are angry about the game yesterday. If we're going to just shorten up the cap, not overthink, I think Sonny Gray should come out here, right? Did we look at Sonny Gray? Did we see what he's doing? Take a look. Again, we look at Sonny Gray and what he's done, again, against Detroit, win. He loses when he played the Tigers there, loses 8-4. He's got a win and a loss. That was a high-scoring game. Loses at the Tigers, 6-0. They can't hit for him. We're not going to have that problem here. I think beats the Tigers 11-4 when he was with St. Louis, right? And what else do we got here? Okay, and that was a high-scoring game, right? What do we got here? So that was the 11-4 game, and then we go to the very last outing. He beat the Tigers earlier this year, beat them last couple times. I mean, it's a coin flippy type game. I mean, that's why you got the 108 there. Let's see where the Red Sox are going after this game. It's Let's see where the Red Sox, where this series is going to lead them to next. I always like to look at any look-aheads here. So they're going to be going back home to play Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming off a win today. They swept the Blue Jays, so the Tampa Bay is going to be going on the road to play Boston. I would imagine Boston wants to keep momentum going, obviously. Who doesn't? But if you look over their last 10, for Boston, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4. Their losses coming at Toronto, who I'm not really impressed with, but they only scored a half a run between the two losses there in 2 games. 1 run in 2 games, and then they got hit. I don't think the Tigers are going to put up 8 or even 3 in this matchup with Sonny Gray on the mound, right? And then you look, they beat Houston 3-1, and then lost 3-6, and then lost 1-3. But if you look at their last 2 games, their bats are coming alive. They're giving up runs over their last 5 games, 7, 10, 17 runs over 5 games. So they're giving up about a little more than 3 runs a game, about 3.25 roughly. So I think Sonny Gray is going to play good, and I don't think the Tigers are really doing good. Let's see where the Tigers are going after this series, and then we're going to do it. And again, that's going to be a surface level cap to see what we having a feel for the game, knowing the game of baseball, knowing what's going on. So they're going on a road trip, right? They're going to KC, they're going to the Mets. They're going to have a day off in between, whereas the Red Sox aren't going to have a day off. They're going to be going right back to Boston tomorrow to get a series start against the Rays. Are you looking ahead to that game? I don't know, but if you look at what the Tigers have done, like I said, they've lost 2 in a row, then won 2 before that, lost 1, won 1, then lost 2. So again, 0-2, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 3-5, 4-5, 4-6 in their last 10 against Cincinnati, Atlanta, Texas, and Boston. Now, you can say Atlanta, good bats, Texas, good bats. I think if you're going to look at this game, you got 2 guys that seem like they're not going to give up runs in a game like this. But if you look at what they've given up 7.5 runs to Boston in the last 2. Flaherty hasn't looked good, but he has already lost to Boston on the marathon game this year at 11 a.m. game. The question is, does Sonny Gray have his stuff? I trust Boston a little bit more in this spot. I think they're playing a little bit better baseball. I think that Detroit is kind of stumbling here. Their best pitchers are getting bounced around. You would expect to see Flaherty have a little bit better outing this game than he did last time when he played Boston earlier this year on that marathon game in Boston. That was the last time he faced Boston, was in that marathon game earlier this year, and there was a lot of runs in that game, 14 to be exact. If I was to look at this game, the cap's getting a little long here. I just think that Boston is playing a little bit better, right? And they beat Miami. They look at the streak they went on here. They went on a nice little streak against Miami and KC. I don't think by the end of the year either one of those teams are going to have a better record than the Red Sox. You beat St. Louis for a couple games. They got decent bats. You lost against Arizona and San Diego, and then you beat San Diego in the opener 2 games. If I was to lean this game, I got to go with the Red Sox here. I think the main factor is they're going to be focused, locked in. They got a game tomorrow, and then Detroit's going on a road trip. They're not playing as good. I hate going against a pitcher that already lost against a team earlier this year that he faced already. But if I'm to lean that way, I'm going to go with the Red Sox. I said it earlier today, and I'm going to say it again. That's going to be Wager Detective's call. The Boston Red Sox to win again, -108. Let's take a look at the odds here on FanDuel. If we're to look at it, okay, again, -108, over under 8.5. Ooh, that's close. I think Boston's hitting good enough where they can get some runs. Depends on how far Sonny Gray can go. But if he can give you 6, the bullpen might give up a couple. I could see a 6-3 game here, 6-4 game. I would call the over as well. But Wager Detective definitely leans the Red Sox here, money line, and that's going to be the call. Wager Detective calling at the 15-minute mark here, the Boston Red Sox to beat beat the Detroit Tigers and sweep the series here in Detroit. And then, again, Boston will be playing Tampa Bay tomorrow at home. So I think they want to end their road trip here like this on a winning note. And then I think the Valdez incident when benches cleared yesterday is going to be the motivation that's going to get it done. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Be sure to set alerts on Twitter, and I'll talk to you soon.